Hey everybody, it's Doug here. Welcome to the channel and welcome to a new playthrough of Cthulhu Death May Die. As you saw in the intro, we're going to be doing the Accursed Tide Season 1. It's Episode 5. I've done, it's really interesting, I played earlier scenarios in the main box a few times, but never got to the end. So I got Episode 5 and 6 to go. I haven't played Episode 5 before, so I'm going to play it today. And because it is based on a seafaring town and everything, I did choose Cthulhu as our elder one that we're going to be, elder god that we're going to be going against in this scenario. And I'm also going to be playing 4 characters. That's going to be kind of tough, but I think it's okay from, just from a record keeping. This game's not that hard to keep track of, so it's not too bad. But first off, we're going to go over the scenario, and then I'm going to talk about our characters, and then we will get started. So let's get to it. Here's the box art for this episode 5, Accursed Tides, and it says here, small town, small politics, big trouble. For some reason, these two families hate each other's guts, but we need to get them away from the accursed island before the cultists can sacrifice enough of them to summon the Elder One. And of course, it always shows the box content there, but we're going to talk in a little bit more detail. So this, of course, the scenario card says the same thing here that it does in the on the box. Now, hey, if you hear something kick in like a woo, it's unbelievable. I went from running my air conditioner just a couple of weeks ago, 90 plus degrees out here, to let me see, what's the temperature now? Heading down below 50 degrees. So it's just Texas crazy weather. So this week can be extremely cold, probably in the 40s. And 50s. So I have a little space heater that's kicking on to keep my studio warm. So I hope it's not loud enough to bother you. All right, let's get back to this. So I read the blurb there, and we're going to talk about how we disrupt the ritual for them summoning Cthulhu. So to disrupt the ritual, we need to get 3 Allen elders, their family, the Allen family, and 3 Marsh elders on the ship and off the island. When the Elder One advances, any Elder tokens in the catacombs are killed. The catacombs are a space on the board, and we'll look at that in a moment. Then move all Elder tokens that are on the ship tile 1 space towards the catacombs. So we got to get them on the ship and then get the ship gone. That's kind of a trick in this scenario. And it says, if either family has 3 elders killed before the ritual is disrupted, the investigators lose. So this while it looks like a really big scenario, if that happens, we're going to lose early. So what are the 2 special actions for this scenario? One is escort an elder. These are not elder gods. These are elder family members of these 2 families. While on a space with an elder token, make a roll on 2+ successes, place the elder on your investigator board. You may only escort 1 elder at a time. They can't be traded, but you may drop them in your space after any action you take. If any investigator escorting an elder dies, they drop the elder token in that space. And I'll show you what the elder tokens are in a moment. And then send off the boat. We can only do this in the lantern room, which I'll show that as well. That is basically on the opposite side of the board from the boat. So I think we're going to have to split up and fend off the monsters as a team, as teams, so that we can escort elders while at the same time being able to launch the boat. We'll see. It's going to be tricky. Remove all elder tokens that are currently on the ship's tile. They have left the island. Now remember, we got to get 3 of each on the boat and off the island. That is our story of success. Here is the map. As you can see, you'll see it on the board. You can see it there. It's pretty large. The boat is here. The lantern room where we can launch the boat is here, and the catacombs are here. So they're going to start moving their way toward the catacombs. Like, we got to save this guy first, right? He's right there on the catacombs. Now we got a little time because it doesn't happen until the Elder One advances. So we know we got at least 3 turns, depending on how the Mythos deck goes. And in this scenario, we're going to have Chthonians, the Chthonian, which there's only one of. He's big bad. Next to Cthulhu, we're going to have cultists and deep ones. We also have with Cthulhu, we have cultists and a star spawn can come out as well. So we're probably going to have to be dealing with all of those. And again, this is scenario 5 in the main game. All right, so that is the story of our scenario, what we're going to be trying to accomplish. Now, a couple of my previous investigators are coming back. That is going to be the Kid and Rasputin. I have used them both in other scenarios. So they are the returning investigators that have been going through the scenarios with me in some cases. I'm also going to be playing with Adam, that you can see on the screen. And tomorrow we're going to talk about those characters right now. Okay, well, the Kid is a bit freaky. We're going to talk about the story of the Kid real quick. But I had them all set up, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. Look at her thing. It's a ha 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 ha. Yeah. She's unknown. Okay. Except for a gleeful cackle, the Kid, as she has become known, makes no other sound. So she just laughs. That's not freaky at all. Something of a mystery to investigators, and her knowing gaze and 1,000-yard stare speak to a potential age far beyond her diminutive stature. She has no apparent need for guardians or guidance in her one-child campaign against the cult and their otherworldly allies. She shows a special affinity for interdimensional gateways, gaining obvious strength and acumen from their proximity. This could hint at a supernatural origin for the Kid, but her glee in destroying said gates and the beings they summon speaks of no allegiance. That is the Kid. She's got some cool abilities, and we'll talk about them right now as well. She's got this gate manipulation, which she starts with right there. It says, if you are in the same space as a gate, monsters and cultists summoned there take wounds equal to half of their health rounded up. So she can basically damage the gates, and of course this will get more powerful. The creatures coming out of the gates, rather. This will get more powerful as she goes. She also has marksmanship and has arcane mastery, meaning that she can start to use elder signs as hits or successes. Her insanity is she's a hypochondriac. So when she hits her target, she's going to take 1 stress for each wound she has. We don't want her wounded. If you have no wounds, heal all your stress. Don't count wounds on companions. So just her wounds. So she's a hypochondriac. She gets a little weirded out when she's wounded. And I'm not going to go over the game rules. There's been plenty of videos on that. But basically when she hits that break point is when that triggers, when she starts to become more and more insane. Okay, let's go on to Rasputin. Rasputin is actually the Rasputin. So I dead again, is his comment. Let's take a look at him. He's from Moscow, Russia. Living forever wasn't exactly Rasputin's idea. He was captured by a cult and after destroying one of their most extensive operations. Their particular brand of torture involved gifting him with a cycle of instant revivification, such that he could be tortured to death again and again. Naturally, this did not go the way the cult planned. He escaped, killing their leader in the process, and discovered the gift had stuck with him. The magic itself is slowly decaying, and he knows that eventually he will die one final time. But for now, he intends to use his powers for the greater good. That is Rasputin. And we're going to talk about his powers. So unkillable is his first power. That makes a lot of sense, right? It says, 1 free death. If you would die from a wound, instead return to life with full health. You can get additionals as you go. He also has arcane mastery and brawling. Pretty darn good. So brawling means that he's better in hand-to-hand combat, and arcane mastery again allows him to use elder signs as hits. Now, for his issue, the issue he has is short-term memory loss. If you're at full stress, heal all of your stress and discard 1 discovery card. So that's not great. If you are not at full stress, take 1 stress. So we don't ever want him at full stress, because then it'll trigger short-term memory loss and he will lose the things he's collected, which is not wonderful. Or we just don't have him collect very much. That's another alternative. Next up, we have some character from the comic book extras box that I took. She's not from the base game. So her ability is really interesting and unique. You see these tokens right here. We'll talk about those in just a moment, but let's look at her story. Tamara, she's from Providence, Rhode Island. Canvases, brushes, and colors are my weapons. Not everyone fights the old ones with weapons. Those with other skills are called guardians of the threshold. There are many ways the old ones infiltrate the living world, and many ways to close the gaps and watch over the hidden doors. Some repel them with music, playing the violin by the window. Others keep lighthouses shining over dark waters. Tamara imprisons them on canvas with brushstrokes. The investigators don't worry about her unpredictable ways, her insane look, or her hysterical laughter. When Tamara points, it means she's fighting to defend our world. Okay, that is Tamara, and her ability is Arcane Painter, and that's what these little tokens here are for. It says, when you rest, place or move a painting token within one space of you. Investigators may discard a painting token in their space to prevent one attack against them. Here, she can instead, when she goes up, she can place 2 tokens in different spaces. You may then I got to get to this one. This one's actually really powerful. You may rest in unsafe spaces. She can heal even if there and rest even if there's monsters there. I don't know how helpful that seems. Powerful. It may not be that great actually. Investigators gain a green die for each painting token in their space. So we want to beef up her Arcane Painter ability and use that. She also has the standard abilities of Stealth and Swiftness. Now her insanity, her pathogen, or whatever they call it, pathology rather, is fear of crowds. She takes 1 stress for every other figure in her space. Enemies or investigators, if you are alone, heal all of your stress instead. So she will, before she triggers that, she would like to be alone. And I talked about going into teams, but I didn't pick these. I did them at random. So last but not least, we have Adam. Okay, and Adam is interesting. We'll see what he's got going on here. Lord Adam Benchley, Manchester, England. Shoot first, never ask. Lord Benchley, signature eye twitch, is both word and warning of the rolling thoughts beneath his calm British demeanor. The man holds himself together admirably, but most investigators know to keep some reserve around the poor fellow, lest the twitch settle into a steely glare. Lord Benchley is quite mad, of course, having battled cults for decades and always maintaining the upper hand, if only barely. Lord Benchley himself relies on a stiff upper lip, stoic resolve, and indulging his psychotic tendencies against the cultists and their foul minions at every opportunity. That is Lord Benchley. Now, what does he have? He has Fueled by Madness, based on what we just heard. That that probably won't surprise you. He gains a green die while he is on his trigger for his insanity here. So, and then it gets better as it goes, right? So that's his ability. He actually gains even more power when he hits the trigger points for his insanity and starts to be impacted by it. And what is that insanity? It is obsessive disorder. Move your stress to match your health value, then discard discovery cards as needed until you have the same number of cards on each side of your investigator board. So he needs to be balanced with cards on both sides, or he'll start losing them, similar to kind of like Rasputin's short-term memory loss. We'll start losing the discovery cards we gain. We don't want to do that. That is for sure. All right, that's our characters. I mean, with that said, I think we're just about ready to go. As our 4 investigators arrive on the first boat guarding the dock, there is a cultist, and you can see that there are cultists along the way. Now, these tokens here are the Allen family, and I'm probably going to flip them up. I just did this to show you. There's Greg Allen, and you can see they're gray with the iron, with the anchor on it. And then you have the Marsh family. Here's Loretta Marsh, for example, and they have the boat wheel there. So, like I said, I think I'm going to turn them all up because their pictures are nicely done. And the colors are still evident, like you know which ones belong to which, because the Marshes have the black background and the Allens have the light background, the lighter background. So we're going to do that so that way you can see who they are. And I think I don't know, do I want to take one turn now? We've been talking for quite a bit to get set up. We can do that. We didn't go over the monsters yet. I do want to talk about this Chthonian. He's nasty. Look at those dice. He gets the three black dice and a green die. It says when attacking, it deals the full wounds to each investigator in its space and adjacent space. We got to kill that guy. And he is up in the catacombs. We'll see how quickly he moves down to us. And of course, deep ones. We've seen lots of deep ones. They're pretty common. It says if it deals any wounds, summon a deep one in its space. The new deep one doesn't attack this turn. So they tend to summon more of themselves into the fray, which we don't want to have happen. Then we have Cthulhu's beasties right here. It says when attacking, this is the star spawn, pretty tough. When attacking or being attacked while in a raleigh space, which these are tokens that Cthulhu will put out through the Mythos cards, add 2 insanity to the roll. So that's not good either. Now, again, in the game, you know, our turns are consisting of taking 3 actions, then drawing a Mythos card, and then if we're in a safe space, we can investigate and draw a discovery card, or if we're not in a safe space, we have to fight the enemy that's there. And that basically that's going to happen after every turn for each character. And you can go in any order you want. There's no, I don't think, you can mix and match the turn order if it's, it's not that big a deal. But I think we're going to get started in the next video, just because we've taken a while on this. That way I'll be able to get a number of turns in, and we'll get to see how this scenario plays out. Each scenario plays out so differently. I'm really excited because I haven't played this one yet. So I'm looking forward to it. Here is, again, I can't even get the whole thing in the shot. Look at that. Here is our board. It's a sprawling board, which makes it harder for us to keep launching the boat. That's why I said I think we're going to have to go into teams. The only problem with going into teams, I have 2 characters with marksman and 2 characters and 1 character with brawling. So I think we're going to split them up, and 1 marksman. I think like Adam and Tamara might go together, and then Rasputin and the kid might go together while they're on the board, except Tamara then wants to end up alone at times, so she might go face some different things and just be a mitigator, where Adam might be, of course, Tamara has swiftness as well, so she might be moving across the board to collect people and bring them back to the boat. And we got one guy who's pretty at risk. Like I say, got a few turns to get to him, but he's at risk, and I'm a little worried about him. I think I have 2 choices. I can sacrifice him, and that's this guy here. He's already in the hallway leading to the catacombs. Obed Marsh. I think Obed Marsh is going to eat it, but that's just me. He might not. I mean, he's got 1 space on this tile before he goes in. I mean, he squeezes through here and then ends up in the catacombs where this Chthonian is waiting to consume him. And I think that's going to be pretty rough. I wish I had painted these miniatures because they are super cool. I mean, check this guy out. That is a wicked-looking Chthonian creature, right? But it's going, and it's down here in these tombs, and it's going to eat up poor Odeb pretty quickly, or Obed, or whatever his name is. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. This will be my Halloween game, because the Halloween is right around the corner. Today's the 29th. So anyway, I will talk to you in the next episode. Take care. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.